giving you the real surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with your host, Skywalker Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to the Skywalker Morning Show. We're streaming live on YouTube. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Cowboys have to find a way to gather themselves coming out this bye week, right? Reset if they want to make a run at this thing. So, they want to have a shot. There's going to have to be some bye week adjustments. We're going to talk about what some of those may be, what some of those should be, and there is one they already made. Snuck under the radar, man. Somehow, some way, this kind of slid under the radar following. I shouldn't even say somehow, some way. That's just, of course, we know why. But we all do our best to try to, and I don't want to use the term move on, but move forward, right? I think that's the best way to put this thing. So we'll get to all of those potential adjustments and tackle them each individually. Plus, in the roundup, they do plan on honoring the Cowboys, detailed on how they will honor Marshawn Kneeland moving forward. And there's a couple key activations from the defensive side of the ball. Hey, how's it going, y'all? Last week, man, wow. You want to talk about, I spoke about this on the collective. You want to talk about a whirlwind of a 48 or 72 hours. I can't remember exactly how it went with the Cowboys Monday night game. Just ridiculous result, right? One of the more embarrassing even though it wasn't a blowout or anything. It's just, come on, man. If you can't beat the Cardinals, that's kind of how I was looking at it. And then you follow that up. Honestly, it started before with the whole Jerry Jones going on, Stephen A. Smith and all that stuff. And then the loss, and then the trades. The two trades, we detailed those. That was the exciting stuff coming out of that game. Logan Wilson, Quentin Williams. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And, the very next day or so, 2 days later, I think it was actually, the news on Marshawn Kneeland's passing and the details and how that happened was just a really strange, one of the strangest bye weeks I can remember here in Dallas. If we're being completely honest, I don't recall anything like this before. And you could even say before that, the death of Marshawn Kneeland, but when you factor that in, it just really took this thing to a whole nother level that made you say, wait a minute, football doesn't matter right now. And I hurt for those players, obviously his family and friends, that locker room, that organization that got a chance to know Marshawn Kneeland better than any of us. That was a shocker. When I got that message, it was something along the lines of, hey, quote, brace yourself for some unfortunate Cowboys news. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go. Somebody's cut or something. And nope, it was Marshawn Kneeland, passing away in the way he did. Just really rough, really, really rough. And, we've talked about it on a collective. I haven't talked about it here. I really don't want to go back down that dark path in a sense, because it does hit home. I told you guys why it hit home. But I will say this, if there is anybody out there that does need help in that manner, there are hotlines, there are people like us, there is our community. Please reach out before you intoxicate. You said something last week that will, I think, stay with me for a long time. I don't know if I've ever heard it before, but before you make a permanent decision from a temporary problem, right? I love how you put that. So we're here. Ask for help. The quarterback says it all the time. He wears it all the time. He obviously went through what he went through with his brother. right? And it's sad that, Marshawn wasn't able to, and he made that permanent decision. But I'm sure his brothers would want him to do the opposite and ask for help. There is no easy way to really turn the page or segue or any of that. So we're going to do our best to put our foot forward, and the Cowboys are going to as well, to try to get ready for this upcoming game on Monday night. Back-to-back weeks, or games, I should say. Cowboys are playing. I don't remember the last time that's happened. Yes, Sunday, Monday, Monday, Sunday, Thursday. Yeah, back-to-back Monday night games. Strange, if you ask me. But I'd imagine they saw Cowboys, they saw Vegas. They said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get those boys on Monday night over there in the new house that they built in Las Vegas." So let's hit this roundup. We'll detail how they're going to mourn or how they're going to honor Marshawn Kneeland. And we got some updates on some key players returning for the Cowboys. Shouts out to you, Bomb Squad, by the way. Don't think I forgot.
Bomb Squad!
Don't think I forgot. Appreciate y'all. Let's get into this thing, if you will.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
I changed this roundup. Indeed, I did. Quickly, the Cowboys obviously had to find a way to show their respects to the Kneeland family. And what they decided to do is wear a special helmet decal that will be worn the rest of the season for Marshawn Kneeland. And they're going to wear a commemorative T-shirt coming up against the Raiders. Now, again, this is a road game, so the Raiders will probably honor him like most of the NFL did over the past weekend. Crazy weekend of football, by the way. But obviously, the Cowboys, when they return back to Dallas, they will also, from what reports are saying, they will have a video tribute honoring Marshawn Kneeland as well. So, yeah, this is something that's going to weigh heavy on these players and this organization for the rest of the season. But they're doing their best to move forward here, and very, very sad situation. Rest in peace to Marshawn Kneeland, and of course our thoughts and prayers to his family, his friends in that locker room. Yesterday, it came down the pipe that Overshown and Savon Revel, have been activated to the 53-man roster. Something that we expected to happen a couple weeks ago when their 21-day window was open, and also reported that they are expected to be available for Monday's game. We're going to put a pin in that because we got to talk about that. That's massive. We kind of briefly touched on it in regards to Overshown and linebackers, but we're going to talk a little bit more throughout the rest of this show. Also of note, it came down yesterday that Wanye Thomas has been put on IR with non-football illness, which is likely due to the migraine issues he's been having and playing with that cost him some games. So now it's going to cost him 4 more. Well, let me just say this. If it's obviously still going on, you have to put him on IR, but I wonder if it would have just been him being inactive if they didn't expect Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker back, which they do. They expect Donovan Wilson to be back this week, and we'll see on Malik Hooker. Sounded like Stephen Jones said Malik Hooker would be back, but we'll know more tomorrow. I don't think, because of Monday night game, I don't believe they're going to practice today or have a practice report. I think it gets bumped down an extra day. So we will hear more from Malik, or more from Steven, or the practice report on what's going on with Malik Hooker. But yeah, I'd say this for Wanye, if those things are still messing with him, I know my mom went through it, bad migraines. I never understood it as a kid, but yeah, no joke. They could put you on your ass. And obviously they did that for Wanye. He got a little better and tried to fight through it, but this is 100%, I'm pretty sure, due to the migraines. Non-football illness, that's likely that. Yeah, you got to sit down for a little bit, Wanye. This sport is brutal, man. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think this is just random migraines. We all know about concussions and CTE and things like that. And given what has happened to his teammate, yeah, if you're not 100% there, get yourself together, before you go out there and continue to, bang your head on the pavement against other helmets. Get right. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, from a body standpoint, they just keep dropping that safety. They just keep dropping. But while Donovan Wilson hasn't been great this year, you get another body in there, maybe with the defensive shift over the second half of the season, because I do think this defense will improve because they added some dudes to it and some better players. Maybe he'll play a little better. Malik Hooker, maybe they'll play a little bit better, but at least you're getting some of those guys back. Happened to look over and said, "What's up, Wanye?" It's the migraines, man. That's what I mean. They didn't come out and necessarily say that. I always get y'all. Make sure y'all still up. They didn't necessarily come out and say that, but when it's a non-football illness, that's pretty much what it is, right? Like that's the migraines, and he was vocal on Twitter, about his faith in regards to that. So hopefully he gets better. Wanye, good dude, good story, and you need him for the depth. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if the Cowboys have something to fight for by the time he gets back. And boy, every time y'all know me, I don't like to look too far ahead anymore. Especially, when I was doing this for 5 seasons in a row, daily, every day. It gets rough when you start looking ahead. You got to focus this thing one game, one day at a time. But that's all I keep seeing over the last week is here's how the Cowboys make a run. Here's how the playoffs and finish 7-1. I'm like, y'all, the realist in me, it pisses me off when I'm like, okay, let me see how that can happen. And then I start looking. I'm like, let's condense this thing into 1 week, please. I can get more excited about how we can win this week. How we can, as opposed to looking ahead, because when you look to how you got here and you want me to blow smoke on a 7-1 type of run when we've lost to the Cardinals, the Panthers, and the Bears, one to the brink against the Giants. It's tough. It's tough for me to do that. So forgive me if you want to call it to the show and you want to talk about Sky. Tell me how we get to 7-1 to get to 10 wins. I ain't doing it, so quit asking, because you might not like the answer. Let's stay within the week, 1 week at a time. Just one. And this week, the Cowboys have a chance to make some adjustments that obviously can linger into the rest of the season. I look over Alpha Mason and say, nah, fam, ain't no run. We done. I'm not going to do that one either, Alpha Mason. I ain't mad at either side that says we're done, that says we're going on a run. That's your prerogative. I'm just saying, if you're asking me to make a proclamation right now, it ain't happening. Let's focus. I'm focused on, what's today? 11-12. I'm focused on how this team can get better for Monday night against the Raiders, and if that can carry over. Okay. And the Cowboys over the bye week obviously made some moves, right? They traded for Quentin Williams, traded for Logan Wilson. We know Quentin Williams. He's coming off essentially 2 bye weeks now, so Quentin ready to go. Hit the ground running. We've kind of discussed who he is as a player. He's an elite talent. You finally replace an elite talent with an elite talent at a interior position, which the reason why I really applaud the aggressiveness to get this, whether you stumble into it or not, is that you've been terrible at drafting difference makers at that position. So go get one. Just eliminate your weakness, which is you drafting people at that position, and go get a dude. And he's 27, 8, 28, whatever it is. So he's got plenty of years left to be at the top of his game. But there's been other positions that the Cowboys needed to upgrade as well, because I don't think that one move is going to take you from 32 to 15, but give me a couple that would take me from 32 to 25. If we can get to 25, that's an improvement. And we kind of hinted at one of them being the linebacker potential swap, which is not even potential, right? Like that's happening. How fast? We'll see. Kenneth Murray, look, it is what it is with this man. I'm not going to continue to poo-poo. He's just I think he's a veteran depth guy at this point. I don't think he's a 17 game starter. Definitely not at Mike. That's for damn sure. But he made some plays last week. We'll actually look into the film a little bit. He made some plays last week in the run game, but you needed to upgrade the position. Clearly, they understood that assignment, and they went out and they got themselves a true Mike linebacker, right? In Logan Wilson. We broke him down. In case you missed that film session, we talked about, or not film session, but the notes. We talked about how he's just a smart, steady guy. This is a true green dot linebacker. High IQ. He will take command of his defense. Let me say this. You listen to him, you watch him play. I don't think this is going to be a situation where Logan Wilson is coming here and just like, all right, I'll let it come to me in a sense. And when I say come to me, I'm not talking about on the field. I'm talking about taking a hold of that position. I think there was a little bit of that early in the offseason. We weren't sure who was the alpha in this room. Who's the dude? Because Demo wasn't there. Right now, Demo's back. That's going to help, but Demo's not going to be your green dot guy, and we'll talk about Demo in a second. This guy is going to be your green dot guy. Very disciplined, reads his keys clean, trusts his eyes. We talk about that trigger. He may not be an elite athlete, but I think he plays. He's more athletic than you would think. This isn't Jack Sanborn, right? I think he's a lot more athletic than that. Light on his feet. We talked about how he flows through traffic. He stays square. You won't see him overrun plays much. Strong finisher. Not saying he's going to take your helmet off, but he's not a guy where he meets you at the hole that you're going back 5 yards. He plays with some pop and heavy behind his pads there. I think he is scheme friendly, because something that Eberflus said last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was two things. He talked about how, yeah, well, you can't take a 3-4 nose tackle and put him into a penetrating front. I get your premise. I'm not going to fight you on that. You forgot more football than I know. That's fine and dandy if you believe that, Flus. But if you're talking about the 350 guy, yeah, I suppose. But he also talked about, and you also can't make a early down, first, second down linebacker play on passing down. I think the Cowboys have been doing that. Clearly, they didn't want Jack out there in the third downs or passing downs. It was, I say clear, because he was being taken out in those situations. But you also didn't have a linebacker that could cover worth a lick. Logan can do that. Logan can play all 3 downs. He can command the middle of the field as a green dot guy, and he can cover a little bit, man. I don't think you stumble your way into 12 interceptions, and not just the picks. There's some plays where he makes a quarterback have to throw it over top of him. He makes a quarterback come off the read just because he sees where it's at. So it's just a very steady, solid player, man, that I think is dependable and that the coaches will trust. I mentioned something on Twitter about Demo and Revel and those guys where I said throw him in the fire. He's another guy you just throw in the fire. They probably won't, because he's only been here. It would be 2 weeks by the time the game gets here. What you'll probably see is a bit of a split. Which honestly is a big deal, because Kenneth Murray's been playing like 100% of the snaps, yo. Kenneth Murray has played every last snap. I'm not saying you just completely go 100% to 0%, especially in the first game, but I will say this. I'm looking to see Logan significantly cut that from 100 to 50 type situation. And depending on how he's playing throughout that game, you get to the third quarter and you see it. it's obvious. Hey, 59. Come have a seat. Go make some plays on special teams. And go hit somebody. That's one thing. Hey, look, if he just running straight and he hit you, he can hit you. Go make some plays on special teams, big boy. Because they got you. So you give me a steady presence, green dot guy, and then you put, and this is why I wanted a DeMario Davis type, and he is that, by the way. Now you can put DeMarvion Overshown at will and just let him go. I'm not tuning up the band, if you will. I'm not taking it easy. I'm not easing him in. You don't have time. The rookie, we'll talk about maybe. Him, no. You don't have time. He's a year and some change removed from another injury. He's now had the 21-day window activated. You can tell he's a dog that is hungry and is on a leash. Let him loose. Let him loose. I don't even know if it's arguable that he's you can say injury prone. So if he gonna get injured, he gonna get injured. You can't save a guy like that from himself on the field. Let him play his game now. I don't want to see Shamar James out there next to whoever is going to be, Kenneth Murray, Logan, whoever. Demo and whoever the other guy is for this week. Next week, Demo and Logan Wilson. 100%. That's it. That's all. We don't need to see, all right, Demo's in there for one possession. He's not in there for two. Demo's back. Let this man get through his warts. I said this before. This is a guy that I just never would doubt. He could tear his ACL and I'd be like, oh, bring back next year. He just has that about him. Let him get through the kinks and the warts early in the game. And then who knows, by second, third, fourth quarter, he's in that mode. And I wouldn't play around, man. Just you don't have time anymore, man. Just let him go. Let him get his win. Let him see things, get a feel of the game. I'd argue though, back to Logan Wilson, I wouldn't play around with him either. Because he's played. He's played every single game with the Bengals. He doesn't need to get only thing he needs to get acclimated with is the language of this defense. He's played in this specific type of defense. Lou Anarumo, I believe is his name. He's played this style now a lot more aggressive. A lot more aggressive, Lou, that is, than I say a lot, but I mean he will mix it up a bit more up front than Flus would. But this isn't foreign to Logan Wilson. So this is an easy bye-week adjustment. Swap the damn linebackers. Don't wait. Don't play around. You went out and got Logan for a reason. You knew you had Demo coming back. Prior to seeing what you've seen all year at the position, you thought it was going to be Kenneth Murray and DeMarvion Overshown. That ain't the case no more. This thing is going to have to be Logan Wilson, DeMarvion Overshown. And I do think that is I can't even begin to put a number on it, how big of an improvement that is. That's huge, man. And if with Quentin Williams up front, Clark, right, manning the middle majority of the time, and when they decide to go do the 5-man stuff, which I'm very intrigued to see how often that happens. That's a whole show in of itself, because there's a lot there. If y'all don't mind me kind of going off cuff here. Teams go heavy, 13, 6 offense linemen. Yeah, no doubt. Let's run that 5. No doubt about it. Teams go 12 even. Sure, let's do it. I would love to see that. Where it gets tricky, and you can't just roll that out there. When teams go 11 or more and they spread you out, you can't just run out 5 defensive line. Sure, you want to. You're going to have a safety or a linebacker on a receiver that ain't got no business being on. So I think, and this is where I think was encouraging for the most part about that Cardinals game compared to years past, which I don't know, the defense in general not encouraging, but you personnel matched, right? When they came out with six offensive linemen or heavy personnel set, they said, "I bet we coming out with 5 defensive linemen." You saw them standing up. So I do think you have to continue to match personnel and sprinkle it in outside of that. But more than just a 5 down lineman. A traditional 3-4 makes the most sense to me. So I'm really intrigued to see, does Flus completely shift? I mean, it would be a shocker to me, but completely shift who he's been for decades and go the whole other side. He's traditionally been 4 down lineman, zone, rush 4, hardly blitz, et cetera, et cetera. Sprinkle in a 5, right? He usually uses a linebacker to come down, but this, when you for 2025, we'll see in 26. This this looks like a 3-4 to me, more than just we'll put 5 guys down. No. I'm talking 5 tech, nose tackle, stand up backers. 2. That's what this line. That's what this personnel should mirror. Now you could talk about next year and you can try to adjust, but because he's not a multiple coordinator, I'm skeptical that he'll automatically go from 4 down guy to 3-4. When I say 4 down, 4-3 traditional guy to 3-4, but I think that's kind of what he needs to do. So that's something I'm really going to be intrigued with. I haven't studied the Raiders yet. We'll do that this week. We'll see how they approach things, if they even allow you to get the 5 down guys often. But we'll take a look. They do have 2 tight ends that they drafted high, so they probably run a good bit of 12. But I'm not trying to get too far here. I don't know. I haven't watched them just yet. But if you had more of a multiple guy, I don't even think it'd be a question. He roll out the 3-4 look majority of the time. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Flus prefers dial-up internet. Flus won't change. He has to. He has to. I mean, he literally has to. You've got 3-3 techniques, and they're all starting guys. So somebody's either not, so somebody's going to change, or you're going to try to implement them more often. So something has to happen there. So that's kind of the one adjustment I think is the easiest to make here. The other one, though, right tackle swap or change, whatever you want to call it. So we'll come out that game. Again, we talk about the offensive line. That's one thing that I probably shouldn't have ignored. I made a thumbnail a couple weeks ago. Can't be stopped. Well, yes, you can. Yeah, this offense can be stopped, especially if you're not having good offensive line play. That's historically has been proven. Come out that game, O-line wasn't great again, right? Penalties, set you back, turnovers. Probably one of the worst offensive line blocking games we've had. Consistently, I'll say that. Lots of pressures. I think something wrong along the lines of 29 pressures or whatever it was. It was ridiculous. But coming out that game, they got a chance to talk to all in the offseason, or the bye week, this happens often. They got a chance to talk to all of the coordinators. And they talked to Connor Riley, who was not just the coordinator, but the offensive line coach. And this comes from DLLS. They chopped it up. The actual video is not from them, but the chopped up version is. So they asked Coach about the tackle position. I think it was competition on right side. Well, listen to Coach Connor Riley speak on that real quick, and we'll talk about it.
Summarize what's going on at right tackle.
Competing, that's the biggest thing. It's a central theme of our program. We're going to compete every single day. There's competition all along the offensive line every day, and there's going to be competition at the right tackle position.
At first, it sounded like Coach speak. Competition. Yeah, they've been speaking that competition stuff all year, which I'm not diminishing. I'm just saying that's what they've been saying. And then he said, but there's going to be competition at the right tackle position. I'm struggling because obviously this seems to be the competition. Terrence Steele and Nate Thomas. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if this is the right tackle competition, it really isn't a competition. Oh, yeah, Sky, Nate Thomas. But look, we all know this is pretty much looking like Terrence's last year, right? Cuzzo, you on your way out, big dog. You're gonna have to come to the cookouts and watch the games with me, type thing. But as much as I wanted this to be Nate Thomas, right now, November 12th, 2025, it ain't Nate Thomas. Not right now. If I came down from Mars, I didn't know these players. I didn't know the names. I know the history. And you say, I want you to watch these two players. One of these players are the starters that needs to be replaced. I'm like, all right, cool. Put it on. If you showed me between these two, I'd have came out and said, oh, I'm assuming 78 needs to replace 71, the starter, right? I'm assuming that because, boy, that's 70. No. 71 is replacing 78. I'd be like, whoa, wait a minute. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you downgrade? No, ladies and gentlemen. That's not what you want to do. Look, you can look at the numbers, you can look at the tape, whatever you want to do. Logan Thomas was bad again, man. Like worse than still bad. So when he says competition, in my head, I'm like, okay, look, give the bull competition in regards to steal. Maybe identity, though. Maybe. And the reason why I'm a little disappointed is because I wanted it to be Nate. I still kind of wanted it to be Nate, but I can't get past that. I viewed Nate as a guard, and I'm seeing that when he's at tackle. Dude only played like 13 snaps as a pass blocker and gave up 5 pressures legitimately and a sack. And just again, the tape looked very similar to the Jets game. You blew out the Jets though, so we kind of glossed over it. But that was a terrible performance. I'm like, all right, first, whatever. I'm hoping this isn't the competition. Let me say that. I'm hoping it's Adeniji, who shows something in preseason, but it's preseason. You can't really get too excited about it. So when they talk about adjustments, and still came out that game with 2 pressures and 33 snaps and a sack, but he continues to lose the same way. I say this all the time. If you want to death taxes and still losing on the inside and with power, that is, you can mark it down, book it. I say it all the time. I don't know why a team or a player or a rusher would decide to even try to rush him on the outside and run the loop. Just power this guy and do some inside stuff. And that's what the Cardinals did. The play where I think it was Sweat hit Dak Prescott's hand and the ball started fluttering or whatever. They ran a stunt with, I want to say, Campbell and Sweat. Sweat just fires inside. And this is something that him and Booker are they're going to have to figure this out. Fires inside. Campbell takes, I believe it's like I said, Booker with him, and Booker doesn't see Sweat, and boom, he's right at him. And there's another one where this wasn't Terrence, this was Nate. I talked about this, I think it was on the Collective. Or it might have been my show, actually. Javonte Williams, boy. That boy, when it come to pass protection, he was dropping bodies in that game. But there was a play where he dropped a corner or a linebacker or somebody. I mean, dropped him. At the same time, oh boy, Nate Thomas got dropped. And it's like, okay. And I haven't even gotten to Tyler Guyton. Like, because they're not going to make a decision over there. And not saying that they should. It's just that he's still rough around the edges. I don't think you fully trust these. And I'll speak for myself. I don't trust these tackles fully. You want to see, on the other side, you want to see some form of dominance at some point, right? Like consistently. That just hasn't been the case. But it is what it is there. You're not making a move. This is where you're going to make a move, right? He talked about it. Right, the right tackle competition. I don't know that right tackle or that other tackle of the future is on the roster. I don't. For 2026, let me just say that. In the foots of you listening, boy, I know this going. They gonna like this foot. But they might have to draft. It just might have to happen, man. I look toxic. I keep seeing that. Guyton the right tackle might help him. If you think that, man, I'm done fighting that whole fight. I don't know that that's the case, but if you think that can be the thing, then more power to you. More power to you. I keep seeing it. I'm just very curious. Have you guys watched both of these gentlemen at those respective positions? Flip Guyton and Thomas. At this point right now, Nate Thomas is not a tackle. From just off of the film in 2025, that shit could change next year in the offseason. He slim up, he move quicker, his hands is better, all that stuff. That's fine. Right now, Nate Thomas is your worst tackle. I'm not putting him out there. Right now. Right this moment. He's your worst tackle. That's why I don't get. Why would you downgrade? I don't get that one. Identity? Let's try it. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's cracking. I'm personally keeping Guyton at left. I don't think left-right really matters with him. I'm keeping him left. He said he's more comfortable at left. You drafting him where you're drafting him to be your left tackle. Look, it's not this simple. Oh, we're just going to flip him to right tackle and everything. You know what's going to happen? All right, now he's got to figure it out at right tackle, and that could take an extra year. Dog, you figure it out right where your ass is at. Figure it out right there. Because if we can just get that one solidified for the future, then you only got to worry about one. God forbid you move him over to right tackle. Now we're talking about another year of trying to get adjusted and that, figuring it out, and different techniques and stance and this. And now we're in a year 4. We're like, all right, here we go. Year 4. Like, nah, you just stay right there at left. Let's figure this other side out while you continue to develop. But I bring this up right now to say that if this is the adjustment, not a fan. Identity, you could talk me into just because if we're trying to find some competition. But Nate Thomas is your worst tackle, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. And he's young. Like, this is not a knock on him. It's more of a knock on the process. I thought he came in as a guard to play guard and moved him to tackle. He showed some promise in the preseason, but that is all out the window in the regular season. Sweet Zeke, I just look over. He said, call me crazy. I like TJ Bass at tackle. He did play tackle in college, but maybe stop drafting projects. Maybe stop drafting projects and traits in the first round. Listen, brother, you preaching to the choir with that one. But I called Tyler Guyton a project 2025 guy, meaning 2025 was the year that, okay, this is the real, let's see what's up with Guyton, et cetera, et cetera. Shouts out to Landlord. I look over, he dropped the 5 super chat. Usually do them at the end, but let's get it right now.
Super chat.
He said, what's happening, this guy in chat? But this is exactly why I didn't want to draft Booker, because I knew tackles were bad. Guard is not as critical. Landlord, you really trying you really trying to get us to fight up. Not me and you, but me, you, and everybody else. Look, I'm on record. I know you guys know what I wanted in the draft, but Booker would be fine. I don't want to do the revisionist history, but yes, I do think taking a guard there probably could have went elsewhere, but it is what it is. Water under the bridge. Water's under the bridge. What? All right, man, because I got some people in here crying about skipping. Let me say this for the 17th umpteenth time for those who are new here. I'm one person. I do an entire show I have a whole thing laid out for everybody. I can't look at the chat 100% of the time. Sometimes I look over. Y'all might have said something 10 minutes ago. I can't go back to that. I got a whole show to do by myself. I don't got a guy in my ear like, hey, yo, Scott, this is a great comment right here. This is a question right here. I got to buy in my ear, man. Hence, why I say, if you got something to say, call into the line, 351-999-3787. Or if you catch me saying, all right, let me get to the chat, say what you got to say and see if I can get it. But boy, I can't see everything because it's just me, man. I gotta be better. Ow. All right, let me go back. Let me go read all the chats from 20 minutes ago. Like, come on, man. Y'all gotta be better. The phone line's here. When you see me, hey, the super chats get read because they get highlighted in their paid comments. I gotta read those, right? You want to call into the show, call into the show. If you see I'm talking to the comments, comment to the comments. Y'all gotta be better at that if you're gonna cry about me not seeing your comments. If you're not gonna cry about it, shouts out to y'all. But for those who do whine and cry about it, I'll get to you. You just gotta be a little bit better than that. For instance, watch this. Shouts out to 567 who called into the show. What's up with you, big dog? What you got to say to your boy?
Hey, man, I got to say, I'm in total agreement with you again, Sky.
Uh-oh.
You be hitting the nail on the coffin.
All right, appreciate you.
Hey, man, I got to say that right now I'm with you on the point that whether we win, lose, I'll be happy we win. But the process that we in, I think we set ourselves up for a better Cowboy team moving forward. Let's just see. I think the biggest decision for me is what we're going to do with the defensive coaching and the free agency. If we don't,
you mean next season? Got you.
Yeah. I think to me, just right off the bat, that's the biggest decision we have to make. Because going into the draft, we cannot be not knowing. We only got a couple of draft picks. We got to know what we're doing, and I think free agency is going to be big too. As far as our offensive line, man, I don't know.
Hey, Rolo.
Guy on his fourth year.
Apologies. See, this is what happens when I let people get to me. Rolo, this ain't to you. That's why I say this is to those who be crying in the chat about me not seeing. Like this guy Brooks, he's crying right now. Bye. I if you want to cry about me not seeing your stuff, big dog, that's fine, man. There's no sweat off my back. Maybe this ain't the show for you. If you want, hey, look at me, and I can't get to you, and it bothers you that much. With all due respect, brother, fine. Just listen to the show or don't listen to the show. But not to you, Rolo, to the people that continually come into the comments telling me that he's ignoring me or whatever. I'm not ignoring nobody. I can only see what I see. That's why I love the phone lines, because I can have that one-on-one conversation with y'all. So if it's really hurting you that bad, Brooks, man, I urge you to just keep it on moving, big dog. No sweat off my back or yours. But it don't derail the show in that manner because you're spamming the chat or whatever, or you think I'm ignoring you. I'm not ignoring you, man. I'm one man. That's why I love the phone lines.
Man, Scott, you got the best show out there.
Appreciate it.
Let them be there, man. You got the best show out there. I watch them all. Trust me. You speak the real Cowboy talk. And you're a realistic person. You know your shit. So let them spam whatever they want to do. You got the best show out there, hands down.
I appreciate it, big dog. But continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's just getting a little out of hand now. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, but, like I said, like we got some vets at key spots on the defensive line, on a linebacker. We need to move towards a little bit deeper on the safety. But we got pieces to move. But I really want to know what you think we should do with Osa. Should we get a draft pick out of the free agent moving forward next year?
Again, you asked me November 12th. I right now think that Clark is a better player.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
So now, do you clearly when you bring in a Quinnen Williams, you are also admitting, which a conversation has not been had. You're admitting, we mismanaged the defensive tackle position, or we misjudged. Let me just say that we may have misjudged the defensive tackle position, the players. So now you got 3 guys at that specific price. You're not a 3-4 team. Even if you were a 3-4 team, you have no idea if Osa can be a dominant 5-tech, because that's what he has to be, by the way. If you move him to 5-tech full time, ain't no, we just got what's his name? Brett Kiesel? Is that, y'all remember Brett? Is it Brett or Brent? My man from Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
No, he can't be Brent Kiesel. He got to be Cam Hayward. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, and if he's not, then let me go get a Brett Kiesel, for a lot less and a better player. So, excuse me. So I think for right now, you just continue to do your 5-down lineman thing. You rotate them in. You let them be better with a Quinnen Williams next to him and Clark when you can. But in the offseason, it's a conversation, man. Like if Clark looks like an absolute animal next to Quinnen, I'm not moving away from Clark. I'm finding a way to offload Osa and then lock up Clark for the next 2-3 years with Quinnen and see what we can run with. But at this moment right now, and that's not a knock on Osa. It's just that you got 2 dudes that are better than him right now. That's just facts.
Right. That's what I think too. And one more question for you. Now, the guy from Cincinnati, the defensive end, he's going to be a free agent. You think we should pursue that coming up next season?
Say again. I'm sorry.
The guy from Cincinnati, the defensive end.
Logan.
He on the 1-year contract.
No.
At the end of this year.
He on 2-year, brother. I mean, just double check for you, but I'm pretty sure.
They gave him a pay increase for this year. Well, I believe so. If I'm not,
Logan Wilson he's signed through 27 to keep it above.
No. I'm talking about the defensive end for Cincinnati. They're playing on the 1-year deal.
Talking about Hendrickson.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotcha.
So you think we should pursue that, or should we look into going to the 3-4 like you said?
Oh, I'd still pursue him. I don't give a damn what you in. I still would sign him. Yeah, hell yeah, man. Look, that's the one that got to be at the top of your list.
Yeah, I trade him for Osa. I get rid of Osa contract and get him, and I swear, you can run whatever you want to run.
Yeah,
you're going to have a dominant force up front.
Yeah, I'm with you. I swapped those 2 out 100%. And again, my whole, and we'll talk about this in the offseason. My whole outlook next offseason is, and I've been saying this for a while, but even more now, I am operating in a 2 to 3 year window. I'm not looking at 2029, 2030. I'm operating in this 2 to 3 year window to try to maximize my guys right now. And that's what the Trey Henderson addition would do. He's not something you're doing for 5 years down the line. You're looking to maximize.
Yep. Yeah, because I ain't looking for no rookies to come in and have no Starburst season. I want some proven guys that can line up and get stops. Period. And that's it. That's all. But
I agree.
Nice speaking to you, man, Sky, again. I think, like I said, you got the best show out there. You're realistic, and don't let nobody bother your show. You're doing a great job.
Appreciate it, man.
You're doing a great job.
I appreciate it. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. That's what I'm saying. I'm only one person over here, big dog. All right. Appreciate the call.
All right.
Shout out. I forgot to get his name, man. I think it was Kirk. I actually got him in here. Shout out to Kirk for calling in on our Pulse of the Nation hotline, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Have you fallen and gotten injured at work? You should probably call a lawyer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan & 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 Morgan.
Did you know that your injury could be worth millions of dollars? Morgan & Morgan is the largest injury law firm in America, and they've recovered over $25 billion for their clients.
$25 billion? That's a hell of a lot of money.
If the insurance companies tried to lowball you, Morgan & Morgan is able to take the pain and suffering and turn it into cold, hard cash. But wait. How much is Morgan & Morgan going to cost you? You never owe them legal fees unless they're successful.
That's right. You don't owe unless you win.
And if you don't know how to hire a lawyer and it sounds too hard, it's actually super easy. You can just go to their website, and then in a couple clicks, you can find out if you have a case. You can literally do it from your smartphone. And remember, there's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Wait, there's more than one because... Let me see the script. Oh, last name. Oh, okay, roll it.
You can start your claim today by going to forthepeople.com/Skywalker. The link in the description. Appreciate our good friends over at Morgan & Morgan. Let's get back to this thing. So, and I'm going to get to y'all on the phone lines, obviously. I see y'all still there as well. I just had to make a point right there. Let's get back to some of these bye week changes. We talk about the linebacker swap. We talk about the potential right tackle change. I'm still skeptical on that one. If they do make it, hell, I'm rooting like hell for Nate, because anybody that's been following me knows I'm a big fan of Nate Thomas. I wanted him at guard, but if he could be a tackle, awesome. But we need to see him play a whole lot better. But the cornerback rotation, coming out that game quietly, very quietly, was Kalen Carson's return to the rotation. He played 42% of the snaps, which was a significant jump, y'all. Significant jump from what he played previously, which was what? 0%. He was active for 3 games. Now, the 2 games prior, he didn't play a single snap. He was a special teams guy. But I thought Kalen Carson played pretty well. Look, I know we might look at this thing. Cowboys defense looked like trash, especially for 2 quarters. The second half, they only gave up, I think it was 3, right? 3 points, something like that. But Kalen Carson, I was like, oh, okay. Something that I think I noticed, and we're going to look at some of the film here, is so he talked about playing with that shoulder injury last year. And coming out, one of the things that I thought I saw on tape a lot for Kalen Carson was a physical guy. He'll come down, he'll tackle, he's physical, cornerback, quick trigger, etc. All that stuff. Again, not a guy I thought, was going to be all pro right away or anything like that, but I thought he could have a home in the slot. But in general, I just thought, okay, this kid has something, some tools you can play with here. But then after a promising start in week 1, got baptized, right? Over the next couple of weeks, got injured trying to play with a shoulder injury, and it just didn't work out. Sent him to IR, and he was on IR for a very, very long time. Very surprised nobody really was talking about Kalen Carson come out of this thing. I thought he looked maybe good, might be too much given that the defense wasn't great, but the defense played better than normal. 27 points, and we only giving up 27 points. I mean, baby steps, right? But I want to take a look at a couple different plays from Kalen Carson. Now, hopefully YouTube don't act funny, because they've been acting funny lately. So one of the things that I really liked about what I saw from Kalen Carson in this game was one of the physicality that he played with in the run game, which we'll get to some of those later. But just he looked very comfortable in this game. He looked like he was seeing things well. And for a guy who played in his first action on a defense who we know these defensive backs were not seeing things well at all. Kalen Carson's at the top of the screen right here. And the reason why I'm highlighting this play is because we've seen in situations this year where these type of concepts have tripped up the Cowboys. It looks like it's going to be a cover 3 type situation. So we want all these guys back here, right? That's what you're going to see on this play. However, the reason why I wanted to highlight it, because you're going to get some motion right here, and I wanted to highlight the actual concept. It's a staple concept in the NFL, dagger concept, right? Where we're trying to get a deep dig to pull that deep defender and to open up a whole bunch of space behind it with Trey McBride. And that's what looked like was about to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So again, that deep dig coming inside, because we're trying to pull down this defender to open up this space back here, right? And for the most part, oh, by the way, ignore the front. We'll get to that in a second. Ignore the pass rush. Just want to highlight the IQ that we saw from Kalen Carson. So this route or this type of route or confusion, what have you, has been getting the Cowboys defensive backs a lot this season. But watch Kalen Carson. He initially looks like, he's about to bite down on that dig. Well, our end route. As we let the play keep going, look at his adjustment, though. Smoothly. Oh. Well, Sky, that's no big deal. It's a big deal to me after watching how this Cowboy secondary has played these specific things. He smoothly transitions to playing the deep ball. Now the play is over because he dumped it off. But he essentially eliminates that. Now, can you imagine if Carson bites down? Now, the pressure is here if you want to look. But just for a second, just trying to highlight the coverage. For a second. If there is no pressure here and Caleb bites down, this is wide open. Or if you want to continue up, whatever, it's wide open. And to see that he recognized that, because ladies and gentlemen, that has not been recognized. Just let you know that. Like, these quarterbacks have been letting these type of concepts trip them up for most of the season. And, shouts out to whoever the player they dumped it off to. Made my man's miss here. Just a little embarrassing there by old number 14, Marquise Bell. But bottom line is, Kalen Carson, I think, made a great read. And this wasn't the only time. I just want to highlight that one specifically. He had another play where he was in Marvin Harrison's Jr.'s chest the entire way through on a press technique one-on-one. Y'all, one-on-one. He did not get targeted in this game. Didn't give him any receptions because he wasn't targeted. None of that. But what I also liked about Carson in this game here was his ability to defend the run and his physicality. This is why I believe that shoulder injury, it might be a wrap. Like, he might be fine. This is Kalen Carson down here at the bottom of the screen. And you're going to see him take on guards a couple times here. So initially he fires inside, but watch his ability to adjust as he sees, okay, they're pulling this guard. I have to get outside this guard's shoulder to force this back inside to my linebacker help, which is going to be right here, right? We want to force this ball back inside to Kenneth Murray. Now, it may look like, oh, he just got pushed outside. Sure. Let's slow it down just a little bit. Carson initiates the contact to get his head on the other side of the offensive lineman's helmet, the peak, to make this this running back, cut it back inside to your defensive help. And he also keeps his arm free in case he does come on the outside. If he does not force this thing back inside, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we just go right. There's no help, right? So, yeah, the offensive lineman pushes him a little bit, but look who makes the play. Kenneth Murray. This is a really good play. This is being physical, not being afraid of dealing with the contact by, I think that's Will Hernandez. That's a big boy, by the way. Okay. Here's Kalen Carson again right here. Now, this is just him being a bit of a bully. I just kind of like how he ain't taking no shit from this wide receiver. Great play, by the way, by these linebackers doing their job, but you can't focus on Carson real quick. Hey, you want to play patty cake with me? Man, get the fuck. Hey, look. Again, get off. Sky, what do you mean? This ain't no big deal. I'm just saying the physicality that Kalen Carson shows here, where he's like, I'm not going to let you just play patty cake with me right here. Boom. Knock back. Get the hell off of me. Try to get in on a play. He didn't make a play. It's just the physicality I wanted to show. This one, though, he did make the play. Once again, here's Kalen Carson. And this is something you have to do in this scheme. Earlier, we talked about how he took on the pulling guard and forced it back inside. This was just, this is textbook here. So once again, he's reading the play, sees there's a pulling guard, fires down. This is the click trigger I talk about. Gets square, realizes, okay, again, I have to play outside contain, because if I don't, there's nothing but space and opportunity. Initiates contact again, textbook, but gets his head on this side of the defensive offensive lineman. Why? Because if he decides to come out this way, I still have a free hand to try to attempt to make a play. Instead, he forces it back inside to what? Our help. To our rallying help. Not only does he do that, That is a 300 and something pound offensive lineman, ladies and gentlemen. He disengages and gets in on the tackle. Look, I'm not saying Kalen Carson is a world beater. What I do want to highlight is that he shows some good things in this game in his debut. There were some people on Twitter saying, hey, yeah, but who cares? The defense and that. I'm like, hey, y'all, you're reading too much into this thing. I'm just talking about Carson. I just wanted to highlight his performance in his debut and show that, hey, man, this kid showed some good things in this game. This was some tape that I'm pretty sure he's going to watch and say, I can build off this. I can build off this and be a legitimate part of this cornerback rotation. So now the question becomes, and I've seen this, talked about here, with Savon Ravel coming back. By the way, got a chance to speak with his pops the other day on Law Show. Shouts out to Law Nation, getting Savon Ravel on the show. Got a chance to talk to him. And y'all know how I feel about getting, the young buck coming back, the injury and things like that. Little nervous about the pressure they're putting on him in that sense. But hey, his pops got me hyped. His pops was talking some shit. Hey, his pops got me fired up. One of the questions I had to ask his pops was, this scheme, when I looked at Savon Ravel's tape coming out of college, physical corner, handsy corner, a kid who wants to get in your chest, play in phase, get downhill and hit, all that type of stuff. This scheme's a little softer, off the ball, things like that, lots of room, et cetera, et cetera. And he talked about how, when he got to ECU, Savon Revel, damn it, I did it again, Savon Revel. When he got there, they actually adapted their scheme to him. They became more physical, more in your chest, more man type stuff, but it was a zone-based defense. So he actually had to learn and play in both, right? And he played well in both. Don't get me wrong. So he basically saying it shouldn't be difficult to adapt to this type of scheme for him. But either way, though, he was just hyping me up. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I mean, look, this is pops. I get it, but at this point, man, I'm easily influenced in regards to trying to get hype. So you get him back. Maybe not this week, man. I did say throw all these guys in the fire. I get it, though. Revel's a guy you probably are going to ease in. But at some point, could you be looking at Revel, Carson on the outside, Bland in the slot? Think so. I think that's where I would like to see it go. This may not be your answer for the future, but this could be a question that can be answered throughout the rest of the season. So Revel outside, Carson outside, Bland in the slot. And if that doesn't work out, you got Reddy Stewart ready to go too, right? So I like what I saw from Carson this week. And by the way, he ate all the way into the snaps of Wheezy Bridges. Bridges was getting like 70, 80% of the snaps, and that's over. Carson is likely going to be 42%, 0 to 42%. I can see that going up to 70% next week, if not more. It all depends on how often they play in specific packages or whatever. But yeah, I can see Carson playing a lot. I can see Revel being eased into this thing. And as that happens, it's likely going to be Bland, Carson, Reddy. But that cornerback rotation is something that has to be an adjustment. Can no longer be Elam and Bridges out there. Cut it. Cut it. And then finally, another kind of talking point that's just, it's not something that's being glossed over. We've talked about it a lot throughout the year. A lot of creators have talked about it. I don't know if the media, I can't remember how much they've asked, coach about this stuff, but running back too. Look, I love what Javonte Williams is doing, man, but the dude, I don't know how many times I keep saying, he needs a legitimate running mate. And it's clear it's not Blue. Blue was benched, by the way. Healthy scratch in this game. Well, previous game. So with that benching, they brought up Malik Davis, right? You got Hunter Lipke there. I'm sitting here thinking, hey, okay, Hunter Lipke and Malik Davis. We're going to see y'all get some carries or some snaps. Javonte Williams ended up playing a season-high 87% of the snaps in Week 9. Ladies and gentlemen, if he's going to be playing 90% of the snaps, granted, you don't have a choice anymore. I don't think that's ideal for Javonte Williams. You want to give him 90% of the carries, whatever, but he needs a running mate. Hunter Lipke played 5 snaps. What is? Can y'all help me here? Can somebody? Can a reporter help me? Can somebody ask Coach Steven, Jerry, whoever? You know, you extended Lipke. You were very proud of that extension. He doesn't play, and then when he does play, he's doing. Hunter Lipke is not Lorenzo Neal. Hunter Lipke is not Lorenzo Neal. Before last week, I was going to review some of the offensive stuff, and you know that first possession, for instance, very disappointing. Right, went for it. I'm not disappointed going for it. Disappointed they didn't get it. But the reason why you're in that position, you know, you're running the ball very well. You get down inside the 20, you ran the ball twice, but that second time, they pulled or ran some type of game with, I think, Guyton just and I think Tyler Smith just missed, didn't get anybody. But here comes Hunter Lipke, and he's done this multiple times this year. He touches no one. He just running the cardio. 4-yard loss. Walter Nolan goes untouched in the backfield. Now you're set up second or whatever way. I think it was second or third and long and goal. But this isn't the first time. So I'm like, bro, if you're not going to give him the ball and you're not going to throw him the ball, why the hell did you extend him? He's not Lorenzo Neal. He's more Kyle. And Juszczyk can block, but Juszczyk in the pass game, right? And then John Kuhn in the run game. He's more of those guys from a skill set standpoint, not a blocking standpoint. You sprinkle in his blocking. You want his blocking to be because he's fired up. He just got a 7-yard run. He's fired up. He just caught a couple passes, but they're using him like he moose. I don't get it. Anyway, he played 5 snaps in that game. Malik Davis played 5 snaps in that game. Malik Davis got cut to bring him, but I think they bring him back on the practice squad, whatever. You don't have a running back too? I get it. Javonte's having a resurgent year. But now I beg the question. I ask the question. Is this back to being one of the most suspect running back rooms, even with Javonte in it? You know, because if you go look at a couple, Tyler Algier and Robinson. Robinson is all world, but Tyler Algier helps keep him fresh. And Tyler Algier actually is extremely productive. Gibbs and Montgomery. Hill and Henry. It's all JT in Carolina in Indianapolis. That was all JT. That boy's MVP for real. Him and Matt Stafford to me are the top 2 MVP guys right now. Jonathan Taylor on a tear. Unbelievable. But you get what I'm saying. Like, bro, you got to do something. And I just happened to look up. Who said that? Let me scroll back up. Damn it. Somebody said Maffa. It went somewhere. I saw Maffa. What's going on with Maffa? Yeah, he hasn't been brought off IR. At this point, it's whatever for me. Figure out something, right? And the reason why I say it, and I should have brought some plays up. They were doing some schematic things in this game to me that are very questionable with this particular running back. See, when you're going to leave, especially in this odd front, but you're going to leave guys unblocked backside and you're going zone oppo, not a lot of wide stuff, but to me, And maybe get a back that can bounce that thing. Maybe get a back that can hit that and go. Quick, fast, speedy. Not saying look, you can be 210 and be speedy, right? You could be 210 and be quick. I'm not saying you need a 165. You know what I mean? But there was times, and it's been all year. All year I've said this. There's times where you see, oh, that's why he needs a running mate. That's not his game. He cannot hit that gear right away to get to the outside, to capture it, or to make somebody miss in space outside. In the phone booth, reading the line of scrimmage, in between the tackles, we've seen him do that. But just purely outrunning a guy or purely and then capturing it, that's not his game. Find a guy that can do that to compliment him. Because too many times I'm seeing the backside guy just running him down. Not his fault. Blocking assignments scheme, I didn't like how they ran the ball, particularly in this game. Outside that first drive, let me say that. And I think they had a drive in the third quarter too. And that's not the knock. This run game is fine in the sense of how it's being done. I'm not complaining there. It's just that maybe get a guy that can complement that style a little better. So, look, there's other things, adjustments. I didn't bring up the defensive tackle situation because, look, we know what that is. Safety. We talked about that at the start of this thing. But for me, these four are going to be things I'm highlighting and watching coming out of this bye week. How fast do they swap these backers? Because I think it needs to happen right now. What do they do at tackle? I don't think the answer is Nate Thomas, but that's who came in and filled in for Terrence in the Cardinals game, and he was much worse. The cornerback rotation. Are we going to get Carson, Revel, and Bland moving forward, or are we going to get Reddy, Stewart in there for right now until Revel's ready? Revel, I apologize to the Pops. And then running back 2. They got to figure this running back 2 out. Got to figure out somebody to compliment him. It's a little frustrating this week 10, 11, whatever it is now, that, we've been talking about this all year. All year. Before the season. Really. Why ain't they giving 40 ounce no love? This is why I want somebody to ask at the podium. Hey man, you kind of got another aspect of the offense you can I don't want to say unlock. I'm not saying it's a game changer, but you can throw in there. You can throw that in there and see what happens. Think you can get some productive plays out of it. I don't know. You need a running back too. Hand the ball off this guy. Do we need to show coach his running back highlights in college? I don't know. All right, before I get on the horns here, hold tight there, LA. Hold tight right there, man. Also want to shout out another sponsor of the show, Cornbread Hemp, ladies and gentlemen. I talked about this after the loss, but not just the loss. In general, if you're looking for another way to unwind after a long day, relax. Cornbread Hemp got you, man. And look, I have them in the gummy form, but they have drinks. They have other different forms on their website that you can use. Cornbread Hemp is 100% organic hemp that they use from the flower. That's where the purest form of the CBD comes from. No seeds, no stems, no junk, just a full spectrum goodness. And like I said, I'm not here I'm not blowing smoke. Obviously, I've had this, and I can say they do put you at ease, if you will. And we got a 30% off discount for the listeners. If you go to cornbreadhemp.com/steal and use that code at checkout, you get 30% off. That's cornbreadhemp.com/steal at checkout. Take care of yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to LA. Shout out to my other West Coast brother. What's up with you, man?
Man. It is the day started off gloomy out this joint.
Yeah.
And it's trying to turn wintertime in LA, and it's not okay. Because it's going to be sunny again later. It's fine. That's the way the weather goes here, man. It's bad.
Well, let me put some sunshine. How about them Lakers, bro? But go ahead, LA.
Yeah, man. Nah, like I'm a really weird Lakers fan because I grew up in D.C., right? And I came out here a long time ago for college. And saying that to say, I didn't hate the Lakers when I got here, but I was a big Allen Iverson fan, and the Lakers natives hated, because people said that Allen Iverson at the time was a better player than Kobe.
Yeah, I remember those conversations. I used to battle dudes in school all the time, man. I live in PA, bro. I'm right next to Philly, so that fight was rough.
So you remember the All-Star game when Kobe got the MVP in Philly and they booed him?
From Philly at that, but yeah.
Right. No, but in Philly, the Philly people was booing Kobe when he won the All-Star game, MVP. And he almost cried. I remember this vividly. I was laughing like shit. It was so funny. So saying that to say, like, I've been antagonizing Laker fans since 2001, 2002 about, different West Coast stuff being soft and, Cali people don't like contact and stuff, all kinds of stuff. So I've been having fun with it. Saying that to say, since LeBron came out here, I decided that the Lakers need a better fan, that the Laker fans are way too fickle and they're crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and be the Laker fan now that LeBron came. And
so you adopted.
I can balance out.
You adopted the Lakers. All right, yeah, man. When I moved to Dallas, I adopted the Mavericks at the time. Because I was there. I went to me and Vach went to the Western Conference game and things like that. I get it.
Yeah, like you want to have a team where you at. You want to have one kind, and then but the energy around the Lakers and the Dodgers is crazy phenomenal. Like if you weren't in your matrimonial type joint, you could find you a good lady person in the Dodger fan people and the Laker fan people. It's kind of cool, man.
I can dig it. But what's on your mind about the Cowboys?
Man, you know what? Nothing major. Because I don't see a big turnaround coming. I would like to see a big turnaround coming. But realistically, I feel like we're going to be a lot better. But we don't have a big turnaround coming. Being able to control the A gap is something I've been advocating for.
It's true.
Since we had for a long time, for the last 5 or 6 years, I would say when we still had Travis Frederick and Cyrus Smith, our D line was still we weren't good enough to get off the field on third down, and mainly it was because we could only generate pressure with blitzing, and that's where we've been at, and until Micah Parsons came, but now. Unless Micah, well, obviously that's an issue. We couldn't stop the fucking run of the A gap for the last few years. So playing defense should be a lot better, but I don't know that we really gonna get off the field on third down now either. We're just not gonna give up, a 12-yard run on first down.
Getting off the field on third down has been depressing.
Yeah,
now it'll take. And that's something, again, I haven't brought up all show, even when I highlighted the cornerbacks. But the secondary, man. That's why, like, part of me super excited to get Logan, super excited to get Quinnen. And those guys should help in the pass defense in the sense that, Quinnen getting pressure up the middle, things like that should speed the clock, etc. But you're not going to get pressure every time. So what happens when you need coverage sacks?
When 26 got to cover when 26 got to cover a slant, what happens then? What happens when 26 has to cover a goddamn slant with a mediocre first-round pick receiver?
Brother, it was rough. That was an embarrassing performance by our guy, Blaine.
Oh, my God. As a dude, so when I teach my guys how to run slants versus press, that joint was so textbook, like how to make a DB cross with his inside. How you even cross it with your feet? What how did that happen? Deron Bland with a multi-million-dollar contract? That was crazy.
Yeah, he knew. He knew. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, though.
Yeah, and I don't think it will. It was just so alarming, and I do think he's a decent player. I don't think he's a great player. I don't think the dude is trash. So Cowboy Nation, don't get too mad at me. I just hate that he got popped on the goal line.
It is what it
is. And now he's a meme.
It is what it is. Give me the bean.
Yeah, man. But overall, dude, like I got a little bit more confidence to bet on Cowboy wins. Just because I kind of think that we're going to be. I shouldn't use the term sneak up on people, but defense is going to be a lot more. We're going to be a lot. We're going to resemble an NFL defense a little bit more. You know,
I can buy that. I don't think it's going to look as bad as it had been the first 8 games or 9 games, whatever it was. I think there will be improvement.
Yeah,
I'm pretty. At least let me say this. I think there will 100% be an improvement in that front 7. That's for damn sure.
Right.
With Demo, with Logan, with Quinnen,
and defense like
100%.
21st or 23rd in the league. Just improving. You know, just
think about it. If you jump
like
10, 11 spots, that's a significant. Like if you jump 10, 11 spots, you probably were playing like a top 15 defense to end the year.
Yeah, to end the year. Well, yeah, but the thing though, Scott, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
Things have happened in the league.
It's just you gotta show us is all.
Right, and with all optimism in my heart, I do know this about football in general. If your running game gets hot and your pass rush gets hot in December, if it happens in December and you sneak into the dance, you can win. But like we gave ourselves a chance to win most games.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
We should
playoffs? No, we one game at a time. Damn it.
Yeah. yeah. But that's how it would have to go, man. Like we would have to just get, start out with some consistency, like just as far as trench play, and then if our O-line, if our tackles start to show, if we can again, if on both sides of the ball, if we can get better, every week in November, and play to their best potential in December, we might have a shot to sneak into the dance, and defense should be playing. I don't think the defense is trash. I think that they make a lot, I think that they can be with Kenny Clark and Williams, man, and Osa too. Okay. That's a lot to handle up the middle.
No,
the easiest way.
But the defense was trash before all these dudes came. They was trash. We ain't got to sugarcoat it. You can keep it a buck.
And they were, but we do got the benefit of Pickens and 88. Oh, and side note, dude, I almost got into a fist fight like about a month and a half ago, because I was saying that CD Lamb, because I think I mentioned this to you. Yes, CD Lamb is an All-Pro. He's a great receiver and everything.
Oh, yeah, LA, you was the one that was like, I remember you a long time ago.
Yeah, because I be wanting him to do better. Like my standards for him are better. And when he has the untimely drop season stuff, I'm like, you get your ass out of 88. Get out of 88. But saying all that to say, yeah, sometimes I'm one of them people, man. When you're amazing, I need you to be amazing all the time.
But that's not possible, bro. Like, do you have that same energy when Pickens wasn't amazing all the time, dropping the ball and causing interceptions and penalties? You got that same energy for him?
Yeah, because see, here's the thing. Like when we're playing greedy,
as long as you have the same energy.
Like I'm not mad at that. No, I do. And but here's the thing, though, too. Pickens' expectation level is not at this place where CD's expectation level is for me. I think yeah, definitely CD's the best receiver on the team and everything. I just think that CD has, because he's so electric with the ball in his hand, I would love to see, like for me, I don't see him working on the intermediate part of his game. I feel like
how do you see that?
He's trying to.
You don't know what he's working on.
How they use him more.
LA,
give me a chance, because
I don't know what he's working on. Like,
well, when you see where the game elevates to now maybe it's because they want to get him more touches inside of like 3 and 4 yards of the line of scrimmage, but you know, like I've been waiting to see CD getting a lot more work downfield and like running routes as opposed to being freed up and trying to let him shake people.
All right, brother.
That's all.
Fair enough.
But
all right, big dog.
We should be.
We got a couple other callers, man. Let me get to them, man.
Do you think, brother? I love you, man. God bless you.
Much love, LA. Appreciate you. Let's get to 662. What it is, what it do?
What's up with it, Sky?
What's good with you?
Hey, man. I just want to say, man, hey, I know we behind the Eagles so much, man, but at this point, I just want to see the team show fight for the rest of the season. You know what I'm saying? I just want them to show fight. I want the defense to improve.
I don't question their effort. You know what I'm saying? I don't question their effort. I just don't think they've been good enough. But I'm with you. I would like to continue to see that effort, but it result into more positives.
Yeah. We can go away if we say, hey, we missed the playoffs, but we see a good effort especially from the defense. We're gonna say, okay, if we can carry this on to next season, we'll be good. We'll be all right. Man, I just with the defense, man, I'm happy Jerry finally making moves. It might be a blessing and a curse that the Eagles is winning because now he's seeing that okay, Philadelphia, they making trades and they still competing. They still number one in the division for the second straight year, and they probably put some fire under Jerry and Steven. And they seeing that, and they seeing what the Philadelphia doing to being relevant. They making trades, they making moves to keep the team afloat, and they're probably rubbing off on Jerry and Steven because right now, man, they doing a lot of trades. You know, last offseason they did trades. They trying to attempt to get the team better, and at the trade deadline, they seeing what's going on, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jerry and Steven. I'm seeing that they trying because years before they weren't even trying. You know, they used to shop off the clearance rack. Now they shopping in the store. You know, so.
Yeah,
but that's all I got. Yeah, I just want to see positive from this team for the next 8 games, man.
Gotcha.
You know.
All right, man. Good stuff. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, if it took Howie Roseman trading for Jair Alexander and Jalen Phillips, they made some other trades. Let me say this. You watched them win 2 Super Bowls. That's all the motivation you should need, you know? I don't think the trade deadline, seeing them make moves. Howie been making moves. Howie has made the second most moves since, I don't know what that statistic was. Some crazy number. Watching your rivals hoist the Lombardi and then come to your crib on draft day and troll you. Yeah, no. That would have sent somebody like me to seeing red. Y'all would have been mad at me. Sky done spilled $700 million on free agents. Man, where the hell Sky get all this money from? Done brought people out of retirement, hired all the Hall of Famers on the coaching staff. Oh, I'd have been so petty. You came to my crib to troll me after winning your first Super Bowl. Then you won another one. That's all the motivation I need. But that's me. I hate these I'm trying to become more. I don't like them a lot, like real bad. I'm not saying I'm making moves based off them. I'm not. But you do have to make certain moves based off your division. Hell, this whole poison pill thing is popping up now, right? I mean, the poison pill was supposedly done so you don't bring Voldemort back into the division. They said, Jerry, tell us about the poison pill. He said, yeah, we didn't want him to go somewhere. We got to play him twice. That should tell you all you need to know. Right? Touche. But boy, if Jair Alexander, who retired, by the way, Jalen Phillips had a great game. God's out to him. I really hope that wasn't the thing that made Jerry and Steven go, you know what? And to keep it a bean as I wrap this up, I don't think this was Steven. Don't think this was Steven. Steven watched the pockets. I think this was Jerry saying, nah. I refuse to be going all over these podcasts. I refuse to make one of the biggest decisions I've made in a long time and look goofy from doing it. We finna get somebody up in there. And like I said, I don't care how you stumble into Quentin Williams. I don't care if you drunkenly pass out and you woke up and Quentin Williams' trade has been executed in your hand. So be it. But I don't think it was Steven. JL said, I'm in South Jersey, Sky. I know how you feel. Love seeing these fans be miserable. Dog. I tell this story all the time, man. I used to have a podcast before this show called First Down Podcast. And we did our it was our second live show at a bar, sports bar. And it was at Mr. G's. If you in the chat, you from around here, you know Mr. G's. Ridiculous Eagles bar. I don't know if there's a better Eagles bar in the area. I mean, that thing it's crazy. I don't go there. But that specific time I did, one of my co-hosts, shouts out to Cam, is an Eagle fan. We was like, yo, this would be perfect. Eagles game. Let's go do the show. Playoff game. Let's go do the show there. I ain't scared, right? Oh, this was the game they lost to the Seattle Seahawks. I think Wentz got knocked out or something. And just to see the misery, to feel the misery on their faces, felt so good. It felt so good. They probably was looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm the only one in there cheering and laughing and just. I had to kind of stay on my P's and Q's though, because some of the looks I was getting was a little. Like, okay, he will definitely try to put hand. He's mad. He's really mad. He's pissed. That's why I don't watch games around people, because I'm the same way. Like, I have to watch it at the den with my boys or by myself. When I was doing those y'all know how hard it was to do those game day live shows out with other people that ain't Cowboy fans, and they was saying and talk. I'm like, y'all, you know, go over there, man. Respectfully, though. I don't troll me tomorrow. Don't troll me in the moment where I just. Hey, man, I'm a little nutty. I'm a little nutty during the games, man. A little nutty. Oh, this is going to be. I'm closing the lines after this one. Not this one, but the next one. 346. What it is, what it do. Then we go close the show out with our guy. Yep. What's up, man?
Yo, what's good, Sky? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
Hey, what's up, my man? So I got a couple questions. By the way, I love your show, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
My first time calling in. So a couple of questions. For one, I do think Quentin Williams was the plan all along. For Jerry, I just think that the Jets didn't want to pay Michael Parsons $47 million. I think that was the target for them all along, according to multiple reports that said that. But one about Osa, I heard one of the callers call in about Osa. What's the salary cap implication? I know we just paid him, but what's the salary cap implications if we was to trade him? And how big was the cap hit? Because I heard that we could save like $16 million and only have like a $4 million cap hit if we was to trade him in the offseason.
No, it wouldn't be no $4 million.
The second one.
Hold on before you get to your second question. Now, wait a minute.
Okay.
I think you could, if you do, it depends when you do it, but let me go look. If you were to do it post June 1st, you have a $16 million cap or a dead cap that you split, but you save 16 and 26. So, but I wouldn't do it post June 1st. You would do it before that, right? You don't keep them around in trade. Right. So the problem with that is you have a $16 million dead cap in 2026, and you only have a $4.7 million saving. So your best bet money wise is to technically trade him after June 1st. Which is, you don't really get no money saved like until then.
Yeah, that's like after the draft and everything.
You're going into camp at that point. Now, I think I could be wrong here. Actually, I don't know. There might be there might be something where you can trade him prior, but designated as a June 1st. I don't remember. I know you can cut him and designate it as a June 1st. I don't know if you can trade and designate it as a June 1st. That's something to look into. Because if that's the case, then you can say you trade him in March, you get that capital for the draft, or you know what I'm saying, or you get that player before the draft, and then you deal with the monies after. So I don't know. That's something to look into.
Exactly. Yeah, because that'll be a good idea. Because I'd rather keep Clark in this type of scheme more than Osa. Because I think we should just get rid of all the Dan Quinn guys and just start fresh with a new scheme. But my second question, what I want to ask, like, if you had to have a draft pick, you feel me, like out of the two draft picks we got, would you move down with one of those with the first pick, or would you move down with the second pick? And if you did go offense with one of your picks, would it be running back, or would it be like running back like Love, or would it be like a tackle, one of those tackles that's in the draft too?
It might have to be tackle, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not in the draft lab. That's a great question for like Foots. Foots already got like a top 100 right now at this point. I would do the latest draft pick. I would trade back into the second round. I don't want to give away the best draft pick, right? Unless I'm getting a crazy haul for that. But say the Cowboys finish outside the playoffs and they're picking at 15 or something, like unless you giving me like an extra one the following year plus a bunch of capital, maybe I can now we can talk. But if I can stay at 15, select at 15, and say the Packers do make the playoffs and they're at like 20 something, then yeah, I'm trading the Packers pick.
Do you think for Dak, to get the most out of Dak, because his years is limited, I know we want to go defense, but I'm not really too sold on Javonte being like a back that you can depend on for multiple years once he get paid and stuff like that. But I like Javonte. But I'm saying that, like, we do need another guy with him. That's what I was hoping Blue was. But do you think Dak would be good if it was do you think he would need a more tackle or a more running back better? Because I mean, I think we the
tackle is the more value. I mean, if you get a stud tackle, you take the tackle over the running back. But that doesn't mean you can just ignore running back. Like, you can get a back in the second round. I mean, second round, third, whatever. You don't have to wait till day 3. You don't have to sign somebody's failed project. You can still take it serious without taking it at 15. Now, if you get some Bijan Robinson type dude to fall to you, I mean, yeah, sure. But I don't think there's anybody that will question having a stud tackle being more valuable than a running back. Like, again, there's a handful you could argue that for, but there's a lot of tackles that will tell you, you give me a rock solid tackle, like I'm talking cornerstone guy. That's a guy that could play for you for 15 years. No running back is playing for you for 15 years.
Yeah, but we've been the tackle situation is kind of tough, because that's why I would rather start Nate Thomas right now, because I think if he had like a full week or so of practice right on the right side,
bro, I don't think you want to do that. I don't know if you have access to the All 22 NFL Pro. Go watch it.
I did.
I don't know if you want to do
but
that.
I have seen him play better than that, though. Like
in preseason,
we have seen him play better than that. No, the game against Carolina, he was really good.
No, he didn't play that much against Carolina. The only time he played more snaps like that was the Jets, and that was bad.
No, the Jets. I meant the Jets. Yeah, I meant the Jets.
Oh, then brother, I don't know if you was watching the same player I was watching. He was horrible.
But you think Terrence Steele is better?
Yes, that's a problem.
Okay.
Like that's what I said earlier in the show. No. Listen. Okay. Yeah. In the off season, you're looking for a tackle. That's probably talking about tackle. But right now, Nate Thomas is an answer to me. I mean, you may believe that. That's fine. Based off of what I've seen, absolutely not. Terrence Steele was a better player than him, and that's telling you something.
All right. Yeah. Right. I like I just was thinking more of the upside version for Nate, just to see what we got, so we can make sure we know we need to go tackle. Address the tackle this offseason. And make sure we don't have.
But do you do it at risk of like put this? He's a worse player. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get if you got a quarterback who's not Dak, you got a young quarterback, you got your season's over, which it may be over or whatever. I understand that.
I think it's over.
Well, that's look. I'm not gonna fight you on that. But do you do it at the risk of making your offense worse? Because if you have that bad of tackle play, it can make your offense. I think that's what they have to battle right now. Like, he's a worse player. So at a position that is extremely important. Now, granted, it's tackle. Dak can deal with that a little bit better. But I've watched now back-to-back games where this offensive line has struggled in protection with two teams that are very creative in their looks. And that's something, actually, if you can go back to, I think it was what team did it earlier in the season? I can't remember. But they play around with their looks up front, and we've struggled. So if you want to knock this offense rocker, that's the way to do it, is attack this offensive line, which is not back, in sync just quite yet.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. And that's why I was also saying, like, because I believe the season may be a wash, even though we may not say it. And I think we should just try things to see what we have and who's going to be on the roster next year. Like, that's why I would throw Carson in there. Like, Elam, I don't want to see Elam no more. I would throw Ravel. I would throw Ravel in there as much as possible. Like all the guys on defense, like, we need to see who we got so we can see who's going to be on the roster next year.
See, now that,
because I definitely think we need.
Now that part, bro, I think you got better players doing that, right? Like, I think Revel is more talented than those. I think Logan is more talented and better. Demo more talented and better. I'm 100% there. I don't know that that's the case.
What about Carson?
I don't know if you saw the show earlier. If not, run that thing back, brother.
Yeah.
Broke down Carson's play from that game. I thought he looked really good. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you, brother, man. Keep doing your thing, my man.
Thank you. Good talk right there.
All right, boss. All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. It's not an easy conversation to have or decision to make. I'm glad I'm not the one that has to make it, because at the end of the day, it sounds like, not that part either. God, man. That's the one I want right here. It sounds like they're going to do it. Now, for those who may have missed it, this is what Coach Riley said about the right tackle competition.
What's going on at right tackle?
Competing, that's the biggest thing. It's a central theme of our program. We're going to compete every single day. There's competition all along the offensive line every day, and there's going to be competition at the right tackle position.
The premise of seeing if there's some upside before, I'm not even mad at that either. I don't disagree. I get it. It's just, boy, it's a downgrade at this point. It'd be different if I thought it was an upgrade. It's a downgrade. And it's just like, man, how do we go into these weeks and it's already, somebody said something crazy. Glenn, what a comment. Glenn said, we playing competition and they're playing find the scrub. Yikes. Yeah, the Osa question though, see, that's the thing too, man. Did anybody get an answer on that? Can you trade somebody in March and designate it as a June 1st post? Like, that's a weird thought. But the NFL is weird with their rules. Can you do that? Did anybody get an answer? Anybody get an answer? See, I have a hard time with stuff like this, Battle. You don't think so? Says Nelson. All right. Well, if that's the case, boy, you're in a bit of a pickle. You're in a bit of a pickle. You damn sure cannot release him, nor should you. Your best bet is to trade him and just eat the $16 million dead cap. Or the part nobody, that brought this up, nobody want to talk about, you keep him and they move on from the other guy. Now, see, Battle, when people say this stuff, though, man, I have a hard time. When you say stuff like, ever since he got paid, he's lazy. Yeah, ever since Osa got late. So, yeah, ever since Osa got lazy after he got his money. Now, Battle, come on, bro. You know Osa? You out there? If it's one thing I've been told about Osa, it ain't work ethic. Money or no money. You believe Osa lazy now? We could critique his play. We could critique that he's not looking like he looked previous years or whatever. But unless you know something I don't know, saying another guy player is lazy without reports of being lazy, or he's lazy, it's kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? A little wild. I wouldn't go that far as saying Osa's lazy. Maybe just not be good enough right now. Is all. You know what I mean? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Martise, good morning, brother. How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good. You know, we made these moves, and I know you were one of the handful of people that was like, I don't know, but how you feeling right now about the moves?
I love the Logan Wilson. I love that. I don't love the Quinnen. And I think I want to make something clear, right?
Sure.
I'm not anti-trade as much as it may have came off that I am. I just don't like, I'll put it this way and simplify it so I don't talk long. Jerry has a history of not getting enough back when he trades players, big-time players, when he trades players, and then he has a tendency of overpaying when he goes and gets them, right?
Yeah.
And we're not doing that in a win this year kind of situation. So I look at it like Sauce, just as a comparison. At least the Colts can say, if this goes well, we already got the best record over here. We play Mahomes, et cetera, et cetera. This trade can literally and directly propel us to X location, right? Championship game, Super Bowl, whatever. We made the trade for Quinnen this year, and I did want to clear something up. Apparently, Jerry had the plan that he wanted to move Micah for the D tackle.
Yes.
So apparently it came out he already tried to trade for Quinnen week 1. Mm-hmm. They said no. He called Carolina to get Brown. They said no.
Correct.
So apparently if we had the position, Jerry's not trying to make any moves, apparently we were a little off on that. He tried this way earlier, and he got declined. So his point is, hey, I'd rather stop the run than have Micah have 2 guys for 1, whatever. I just wish they didn't overpay if they were going to get him. That's the part that bothers me just because of where the team is. Like, I'm good with the forget the picks if we're going to championship level. I'm not good with forget the picks if we're going to be 1 or 2 games better, and that's pretty much where we end up. So that's, I guess, clearing up where I am with the picks. Between the overpaying and it's not pushing us anywhere, I just think, wait. But
so you do think they overpaid for Quinnen?
I do, because not in the sense of I don't think he's a top 5 D tackle or whatever, right? Top 3, whatever. Not in that sense. I think I don't know if you looked at what the Jets were talking about. They said they weren't super interested in moving him, but they said the offer was too good to refuse because Jerry ended up saying, well, okay, we won't give you the later of the 2 or the Packers pick. We'll guarantee you the higher pick. And that's what ultimately made the Jets say okay.
Yeah, that's a 2027 though. So you believe he's worthy, essentially, because you think he's a top 5 defensive tackle, which a guy that's worthy, if you're only giving up a 2 for the next year, man, and a 1 2 years from now, that doesn't seem like an overpay to me, but because you're keeping him for multiple years.
Yeah, I'm only looking at it that way for a couple reasons. I guess just to keep it short, making that trade, let's say we did the same trade, right? I like it better. I guess Jerry tried that. They said no. So he tried to get another player with the trade. They were like, nah, he did it anyway. I mean, I'm not saying it's like a unbelievable overpay, but given where the team is,
it's expensive. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's expensive, and it's now so. Look, and I'll just leave it this way. This is where it gets annoying, right? We traded for Kenny Clark. Everybody's having a conversation now. Are we cutting Kenny Clark after the year? Well, if they cut Kenny Clark, you only got 2 firsts for Micah. It's like he will get less than he should get, when he trading guys away, we all saw that with Amari. No matter what we thought about Amari, a fifth and whatever they got was embarrassing.
Brother, that's a whole nother conversation, but about the whole compensation for that. And then Clark actually, but it hasn't been talked about a lot, but even when he got traded, looking at his monies, he was a potential casualty anyway. The problem is, you see how he's playing, or at least what he can potentially be next to Quinnen. He's been better than your other It just got messy, and you can argue, Jerry making this move because whoops, we aren't as good as we thought at defensive tackle. But that's a whole nother discussion. To cap that off and get to your other points, because I think you had other points. I thought you did. We called it. Quinnen.
I had one more.
Yeah. Quinnen Williams for 27-1 and a 26-2. You want to call it expensive? That's fine, but he's going to be. When a player is that good, they're going to be expensive. I don't think it was an overpay though.
Okay. The thing that frustrates me a little bit, Shotty, and it's early, so I'll just say a slight point of concern. He kind of reminds me a little bit of McCarthy in this way. He kind of will get used to the guys that he likes playing, and unless you blow in terms of your practice habits or whatever you do on the field, unless it's blatantly obvious that he can't play you, he won't, even though we need some of the traits that some of the other guys have. Why are we seeing why are we seeing so much of Tolbert and no Mingo? I think Tolbert has made outside of whatever late garbage touchdown he got from.
I thought you was going to say more Flournoy, but I will say this: Flournoy, and I was going to make a segment about this at some other point. Tolbert's snaps have decreased significantly.
Yeah,
just not for Mingo, but for Flournoy.
Right, for Flournoy.
Yeah.
I'm saying at this point, I think we've seen enough of Tolbert to say he is
Mingo.
not going to offer us any. Yeah, no, I'm saying we've seen enough of Tolbert. Yeah, to know he's not gonna he's not even a better blocker than Mingo. So even if you bring Mingo in to do the blocking, you do better.
Yeah,
and I think we
I'm a little nitpicky with that one because Tolbert's snaps are essentially about to disappear completely. The way it's trending. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. Is there a more prominent player that this is happening with?
No, but that's kind of my concern, right? Especially with CD being hurt, which nobody's really been talking about. We've had some conversations about CD in the past, but I was watching him the last couple of weeks. He get grabbed and tackled the wrong way. He literally limps off the field.
Yeah, he admitted he's not 100%. He admitted that.
Yeah. Let Mingo get in there. At least he's explosive. Help Dak out. I'm looking at the offensive.
Give me CD at 90% over 100% Mingo. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying CD, bro. I'm saying get Tolbert off the field.
I don't think Mingo's 4 snaps a game is significant. That's why I said that's a minor inconvenience as opposed to a major one. I thought you were getting at CD's hurt, getting Mingo in there to take some of them snaps.
I ain't going that far.
Bro, Tolbert played. I don't even think Tolbert played 10 snaps in that game. His snaps are getting decreased by Flournoy. That's who it should be, in my opinion.
And then Blue, and then Span Ford. Those are the players that I'm looking snaps at.
Are increasing now. Blue, they won't come out and say it, but I would love for them to just be like, "Hey, this is why he's not ready. He's not grasping the playbook. He's not practicing well. Just say it." Because clearly he's not the guy. But Span Ford, I think Span Ford, not one. I think he should take 100% of old boy snaps. Schoolmaker, I don't know. I don't even need to see him out there unless you're in 13 personnel.
Yeah. I just don't want. I just hope. I'll just put it that way. I just hope we're not in a situation where it's I like these guys. I'm comfortable with these guys. I'm gonna keep using them because this is the way I look at Blue. Right. I would rather him get snaps. And hopefully, if we lose another bad game or something weird, and it's we're officially cooked for the playoffs, then it's all right, you drafted him in the 5th round. He's your only back on your roster that is under contract next year. See what the dude's got. Because at the end of the day, you need somebody behind Williams, and if Blue can get it together, then you can check that off. I got my backup running back. We need to start checking boxes.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but then your examples is like, but wait, because Tober snaps have decreased, so he's not falling in love with Tober. Blue did get opportunities, and he didn't fall in love with Blue, and he sat him down, right? Terrence Steele is looking like he's about to get replaced, and they've been snip snapping him and Nate Thomas. So in a way, I don't know that that's McCarthy like, because he's actually bringing in other players to take those snaps away from those guys. So I don't know about that one, Martise, about him being McCarthy like in that way, because he's doing the opposites. He's not our guy thinking. He's saying, all right, we'll give you a chance. It ain't working out. Sit down, Blue. Tolbert, you got your shit taken by Flournoy. That's gone, bro. He went from 70-80% of the snaps till he played like 7. So, now you want him to play 0. I can't argue on that one, sure. But, I mean, he's doing the things you want him to do. You just want to see a little more of it, it sounds like.
I mean, to be honest, I'll say a lot more. I think Spanford has shown he does everything better than Luke. I'm not completely sure why that's just not a clear-cut thing.
I agree with that one. What the hell's going on with that? Let me see something.
And I guess my thing with Blue is, I guess part of it is he had the fumble situation in Denver, some missed assignments. He was inactive the next game, and it's like, all right, you holding 5th-round rookie to this, you can't make a mistake. Ferguson had a terrible game. And I'm not saying you bench him entirely. I'm just saying, give the rookie some grace. It shouldn't be. We're not deep enough or good enough at running back to say, all right, Blue, you inactive. But
there's something I wish they would come out. Because, he has not played well. He had a couple moments though, but the fumble obviously was rough. But I wouldn't go on as far as say he's played well. But I would like to know there's something clearly behind the scenes that's not clicking for him, and they don't trust him. I think if you go look at
it might be the blocking more than the fumble.
I was just about to say, if you go look at Javonte Williams, brother, they trust him because he's knocking dudes' heads off.
He's killing people.
And you need that. You need that.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. All right, Martise. Appreciate the conversation, big dog.
All right, man.
Salute. Yeah, I wanted to go double check on the Spanford snaps. I don't know, y'all. Now, he did play a significant amount against Denver, but to go from 23 to 9, and that could have been game script. They're down, they're chasing points or whatever. I don't get the Luke. I'm sitting looking at Luke's. Luke did. Now he went from Luke and Spanford's numbers decreased, but I don't. I'm looking for a game where he might have outsnapped him, and there's not one. Don't get it. Don't get it. I've seen Spanford out there to start games off and stuff like that. I don't get it, bro. Where are we at with 12 too? I'm gonna dive deep, man. I'm gonna dive deep at some point. I don't even think we run as much. I thought we'd run more, but let me just make sure. Make sure I ain't tripping. Rate. Cowboys 23rd NFL and 12 personnel. Man, I just feel like 12 personnel could be a cheat code, man. And with Spanford, I think he could be better 12 personnel. 23rd. That is one aspect I would like to see improve next year. I know everything couldn't change in year one under Shoddy and Clayton, and we've seen significant improvements in a lot of areas, specifically the run game and the run how. They've taken that run game and made it a legitimate weapon, but I thought we'd be more 12, man. I thought we'd be more 12 than this. That's all. All right, good stuff today, y'all. Appreciate y'all. I wanted to give y'all a longer show, given that it's been like since last week. Let me get to these super chats, and as I'm doing that, kind of give you an update. So, I know I promised y'all Mina Kimes last week, but obviously things changed the day we were supposed to have Mina on. Everything was ready to go. We got the news of the passing of Marshawn Nealon, which, for those who don't know, you should. But 2I is in the building. It's been in that locker room. Has talked to these guys. Have developed a relationship. It hit her. Hit all of us pretty hard. But obviously, she has a bit of a more closer relationship there. And just in general, it would have been tough to have Mina on, and we try to just act like nothing happened there, and wasn't good timing. So appreciate Mina for rescheduling. We'll have her on for the Eagles game. So I think it'll be leading into the Eagles game, which is great actually, because she semi-covers the Eagles. She's on not DLS, I don't even know what it's called, but she's on the All City Philly thing. She's brought in every week to discuss that team, so she knows them very well. So we will be talking with Mina the Eagles week. So we've rescheduled it clearly due to those circumstances. Appreciate the supers that came through earlier. Shouts out to our guy, Landlord Sports. He dropped 5 earlier. We're talking about how this is why he didn't want to take, Booker, because he knew the tackles were bad and guard is not as critical. Yeah, again, look, Booker was plug and play. Booker's gonna be fine. Yeah, rough game last week. Coming back, he's still figuring it out. I still believe Booker will be fine, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. Yeah, guard wasn't what I was looking at that point in time. But I kept saying, if they take one and it's Booker, he ready to go. Plug and play. Let's boogie, as Vach will say. But I get the sentiment for sure, especially when you see a guy like Tet just doing things and Ibuka doing things, and But we got our guy. We got our guy pick. It's just, I hope we keep our guy. That's a whole nother discussion. TC915 dropped 2. We were getting on Brooks, which again, Brooks, man, this is no disrespect to you, my man. He said these comments get read, send in your super chats. I'm not the type that asks for super chats. I've never done that from day one. Anybody that's been here since 2020, 2019, whenever, don't ask for supers. If you give them, I appreciate them like hell. Trust them, believe me. But you got to read them, right? So when someone sends in the super with a comment, I read them. And to go back to the conversation in general, I'm not ignoring chats. I just can't see them all, is all. Can't see them all. I try to put together one of my things, man. Y'all know this. I try to put together some good production. I try to mediate this thing and host this thing as good as possible. Keep it engaging, but informative, fun, loose. Open the phone lines. I try to be unique in the delivery and all aspects of what I do in this show. And when you're one man band, some things you might pull back on. And no offense to the chat at all. That's why I open the lines and I try to read the super chats. But during the show, I want to make sure you're getting quality. And if I pull back from the quality to talk to every single or every single comment, it won't sit right with me. You know what I mean? That's all. Nah, Marv didn't call in, Vaughn. He had some good stuff though. How dare I be human? Nah, yeah. And I know I'm not supposed to talk about the nonsense sometimes, but you do this enough, you see certain things said about you or whatever, you be like, hold on, man, let me set the record. Right. Type stuff. But yeah, appreciate Landlord, appreciate the TC915 for the supers. Good stuff in the calls. Chat was on fire as it always is. The day ones, the bomb squad. Y'all are the absolute best. Tomorrow though, me and 2I, unless something changes, we'll be back. We're discussing the Raiders game. Got to turn the page, move forward, if you will, to the Raiders. Look, man, if the Cowboys want to do anything, they want to continue to fight and compete for this playoff spot. Playoffs, y'all know I ain't like using that word right now. It gotta be. I thought it was the Cardinals game, honestly. I thought the Cardinals game was a game that set you up for a run. Because then you could be the Cardinals, and you got a winnable game against the Raiders. You go 5-3. I changed everything. 5-4. Right? If you don't beat the Raiders, what do y'all want me to do, man? What do you want me to do, man? They get mad at you when you keep it too real. Boy, we gonna watch the Raiders today, though. We're gonna figure out what they do well, where their weaknesses are, and how to beat these boys. because the Cowboys got to get the dub. And yeah, I think I am going to watch the Raiders offense. I know I said I wasn't going to do any more offenses, man, but when you bring in a Quentin Williams, Logan Wilson, you get the Marvin Overshown back, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to take a look at the opposing offenses now, but have to beat the Raiders. No doubt about it. With that said, man, before we get up out of here, once again, shouts out to all of our sponsors. Appreciate your Cornbread Hemp. Appreciate your Morgan & Morgan. Of course, appreciate Sleeper for rocking with us all year.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code STEEL. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Appreciate Sleeper. Appreciate you, chat. I will see y'all. Well, I won't see you. You'll see me tomorrow on the Sky and 2 Eyes show. Press this damn button.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Vaughn, he said get the draft tape going if we don't beat the Raiders. I don't want to do draft week 11, man. I'm going to figure something out, though. I ain't talking no damn draft in November. It ain't happening. So quit asking. We out here. Love y'all. Peace. Appreciate you, King Element.